Hello, welcome to Astronautics for Exploit. This is Dr. Ayenshola Ogundele. Ground Station as a Service Evolution from the traditional antenna sharing and catalyzation by the rise of cloud computing. Ground Station as a Service is state-of-the-art and sophisticated innovative approach of satellite operations. Command and control system is gaining popularity based on the advent of artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and the evolution of software as a service system. Ground Station as a Service allows satellite operators to access a global network of ground stations and associated services through a cloud-based pay-as-you-go model, rather than building and maintaining their own costly and complex infrastructure. The ground station as a service model has leveled the playing field, making satellite operations more accessible to commercial and academic entities. It allows new companies to concentrate on their core business of developing satellite and its applications instead of ground infrastructure. Ground station as a service has evolved to support new technologies such as advanced modulation techniques for higher data rates and optical communications for faster, more secure data transfer. Major cloud providers such as Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure offer enabling operators to scale their operations and focus on their core mission of building and deploying satellites. The future trends of ground station as a service are expanded access and affordability, technological advancements, and addressing the military needs. The focus points are as follows: satellite ground station as a service, advantages of ground station as a service, and ground station as a service working principle. Satellite ground station. A satellite ground station is a terrestrial facility with antenna and equipment for communicating with spacecraft by receiving and transmitting signals to and from satellites. Satellite ground stations are essential for sending commands to satellites, downlinking scientific data and images, and maintaining the connectivity of space missions. Components include parabolic antennas for capturing signals, transmitter or receiver units, and modems for data processing. Ground station antenna, which provides connection between the satellites and the monitoring control system, is illustrated in this picture. Communication link is one of the major functions of satellite ground station. Ground stations establish and maintain a stable communication link with satellites in orbit. Data downlinking. They receive valuable data such as images, videos, and sensor readings that satellites collect. Monitoring and control. Ground stations continuously monitor satellites' health and signal quality, ensuring overall integrity of the space mission. Reload satellite dishes, which are pre-programmed to move to pick up satellite signal as the satellite passes overhead, is illustrated in this picture. Uplinking commands. Operators use ground stations to send instructions and commands to satellites in order to control their operations, such as adjusting their orbit and managing their instruments. After receiving data, ground station process, analyze, and store it, often integrating it with other terrestrial services for immediate use. Inside ground station is illustrated in this picture. Ground station as a service provides satellite operators with on-demand, pay-for-use access to a global network of physical ground stations, allowing them to communicate with the satellites for tasks such as receiving data and sending commands without the large upfront investment of building their own infrastructure. Ground station as a service providers. Major cloud providers such as Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure offer ground station as a service, enabling operators to scale their operations and focus on their core mission of building and deploying satellites. Australia's fleet of Internet of Things ground station is illustrated in this picture. Ground station as a service eliminates high cost and complexity of satellite operators building and managing their own infrastructure. Ground station as a service cloud, like model, allows satellite companies in order to be able to focus on developing their satellites and missions, while ground station as a service provider handles the ground segment, offering greater flexibility, scalability, and cost efficiency. Key players are Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and other specialized companies, making satellite operations more accessible for a wider range of organizations. Select ground segment facilities worldwide is illustrated in this picture. Advantages of ground station as a service are as follows. On-demand accessibility. Ground station as a service provides satellite operators with access to a network of ground stations on a pay-per-use basis. This eliminates hefty upfront investment, which is traditionally associated with building and maintaining ground infrastructure, democratizing entry into satellite operations. Scalability. As satellite constellations grow, ground station as a service model allows satellite operators to scale their ground station usage up or down without the constraint of physical infrastructure. This flexibility is critical in an industry where operational needs can fluctuate readily. A 28.5 meters parabolic satellite communication antenna is illustrated in this picture. Other advantages are reduced transmission delay. By utilizing a distributed network of antennas, ground station as a service model ensures data can be downlinked at the nearest point to its end use, significantly reducing latency and allowing for quicker data availability. Global collaboration. This model fosters a collaborative environment where infrastructure is shared among various entities, promoting a more interconnected and efficient global satellite operation framework. Integrated ground system is illustrated in this picture. Speed to market. It reduces time and effort needed to establish ground communications, accelerating time to mission. Focus on core competences. It enables satellite operators to concentrate on their primary business, such as satellite design, manufacturing, and data analysis, rather than ground segment logistics. Reduction in cost. It eliminates significant upfront capital expenditure required to build and maintain a private ground station network. Three segments of a satellite command and control system is illustrated in this picture. Ground station as a service working principle. Ground station as a service allows satellite operators to access a global network of ground stations and associated services through a cloud-based pay-as-you-go model rather than building and maintaining their own costly and complex infrastructure. They manage the ground station hardware and software, offering satellite operators connectivity for commanding their satellites and receiving data through API or on a console, freeing them to focus on their core mission. Humetson's ground segment is illustrated in this picture. Customer satellite. An operator owns or leases a satellite. Ground station as a service provider owns and manages a network of physical ground stations with antennas along with the underlying cloud infrastructure. Cloud-based platform. The operator accesses physical ground stations through a cloud-based platform, often via an API or a web console. Control center at NASA Jet Propulsion Lab is illustrated in this picture. Other working principles are connectivity and data flow, command and control. Operator uses platform to send commands to the satellite, for example, changing its orbit or activating a sensor. Data downlink. Satellite transmits data back to Earth, which is received by a nearby antenna in the ground station as a service provider's network. Data processing. The data is then processed, stored, and integrated with other cloud services for analysis and distribution by the provider or the operator. Satellite ground station is illustrated in this picture. For more information, contact Astronautics for Exploit. You've been listening to Ground Station as a Service, Evolution from the Traditional Antenna Sharing and Catalyzation by the Rise of Cloud Computing by Dr. Anshola Ogunele, with a focus point, Satellite Ground Station as a Service, Advantages of Ground Station as a Service, and Ground Station as a Service Working Principle. Thank you.